When most people hear the word AI, their minds immediately go somewhere very specific. They picture coders, they picture tech companies, they picture 22-year-olds who grew up with screens in their hands. And somewhere in that picture, they quietly decide, this is not for me. So before we go any further, I want to slow this conversation down because the people who are actually using AI every single day are not who you have been led to believe. They are not experts, they are not programmers, and they are not tech geniuses. They're regular people like you and I who are working, people who are tired, people who are planning retirement or already thinking about it, people who don't have time learning things the hard way anymore. And if you watch my last video about AI, this is the natural next question. What does this actually look like in real life? Not a theory, not in headlines, and not in Silicon Valley, but in normal everyday life. That's what this video is about. If you're over 50 and you want a clear practical guidance in income skills for the next chapter, subscribe. It helps this channel reach more people and it keeps you in the loop as we build this together. We need to talk honestly for a moment. AI didn't arrive politely. It didn't wait for permission and it didn't ask whether people felt ready. It just showed up. And while there was a lot of conversation online, swings between hype, people are getting quietly in the middle thinking, I don't really understand this, but I feel like I should. That feeling is not weakness, it's awareness. What matters now isn't whether you love or hate AI. What matters is whether you understand how it fits into your real life. Because here's the truth. No one says out loud. AI is not replacing people. It's just not. But it is replacing inefficient ways of working. And for people later in life, efficiency isn't optional anymore. Time matters, energy matters, and focus matters. That's why this conversation matters. So who do I mean when I say regular people? When I say regular people, let me be very clear about who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are over 40 or even over 50, still working, semi-retired, or planning for retirement. Responsible, capable, and realistic people, not technical people, busy people, and very aware that their future matters. These are people who did what they were supposed to do. They worked hard, they took care of their families, and they stayed loyal to their employers, played by the rules. And yet, many of them still feel behind, pressured, or uncertain about what comes next for retirement. They don't want shortcuts. They don't want hype. They don't want to gamble with their future. They want options. And AI, when used properly, supports options. What AI actually looks like in real life. Let's strip this all the way down. AI in real life does not look like robots taking over jobs. It doesn't look like people becoming tech experts overnight. And it does not look complicated. AI in real life looks surprisingly boring. And boring is good. Here's what regular people are actually using AI for. They're using it to write emails without staring at a blank screen. They're using it to turn ideas into social posts instead of overthinking every single word. They're using it to ask questions and get clear answers instead of Googling for hours and feeling more confused than when they started. They're using it to break ideas into easy to follow steps, organize their thoughts, simplify tasks, and reduce mental fatigue. This is not about doing more. It's about removing friction. because friction is what really drains your energy. And once friction is gone, things start to feel possible again. So why does this matter more after 50? Here's something that people don't actually talk about enough. When you're younger, you can afford insufficiency. You can afford trial and error. You can afford to waste a little time figuring things out. Later on in life, that changes. Not because we're incapable, but because your priorities shift. You don't want to spend hours stuck or feeling frustrated or question your ability to learn. AI shortens the distance between thinking and doing. It helps people learn faster, move with confidence, stay consistent. And consistency is what builds that momentum. So let's have the income conversation without any hype. Now, we do need to talk about income carefully and honestly. AI does not make money for you. Let me repeat that. AI does not make money for you. What it does is removes the obstacles that stop people from building income in the first place. So people use AI to create content faster, to stay organized, to understand systems, to reduce overwhelm, and to build confidence. And those things support your income. AI does not replace effort, but it does replace inefficiency. And inefficiency is what keeps people stuck. Why this is not a technical skills conversation. One of the biggest myths that people believe is that I'm not tech savvy enough for this. That belief really does keep more people stuck than the lack of ability ever could. AI today is not about learning complicated systems. It's about asking really good questions and understanding how to apply those answers. If you can use a phone, read instructions, follow steps, you can use AI. This is not about intelligence, it's about willingness. The bigger picture, skills over fear. What's really happening right now isn't an AI revolution. It's a skills shift. People who learn how to use tools, even simply, gain confidence, flexibility, and options. People who avoid learning become dependent on systems they can't control. This is not about panic. It's about positioning. So what this means for your future. If you're over 50 and watching this, then here's what I want you to hear very clearly. You're not behind. You were just never shown this really simply. You don't need to become an expert. You don't need to be overhauling your life, and you don't need to take massive risks. You need clear steps, simple tools, and the confidence to start. And that's what this channel is here for. This conversation isn't about technology. This is about freedom, clarity, and confidence. If you want to learn how regular people are using simple tools to save time and create income options online, no hype, no shortcuts, that's what I break down step by step here. Start with the next video or head to the Start Here playlist where I explain everything start to finish. You don't need to rush. You just need to start.